count on it, whether it's days in a month or money in the bank.
Math can help make dreams come true, from building a bridge to taking a trip to the moon.
And math is cool because everyone speaks the same language.
And part of understanding math is knowing all about telling time.
What is time?
Time is a kind of measurement. It tells us how long. Some things happen very quickly. Others seem to take forever. Does it happen in the blink of an eye or over many years? Time is the measure we use to find out how long.
Before I went to school, I delivered papers. After school, I went to the track.
Between before and after, something happened. Time has passed. We measure how long that passage takes in units of time.
What time is it?
7 o'clock. Time to get up.
12 noon, time for lunch.
8:30. Time to clean up and go to bed.
Every day, it seems like we do a million different things. Time is the measure of how long these things take.
Measuring time.
All through the day, time ticks away in seconds, minutes, and hours, the standard units of time.
Max woke up this morning at 7 o'clock. It took him exactly 6 seconds to take the covers off and stand up.
Whoosh! A second is a really short unit of time.
If I'm fast, I can clap twice in 1 second.
There are 60 seconds in 1 minute.
I can toast a bagel in 1 minute.
1 hour is made up of 60 minutes. You can do a lot in an hour. Max managed to deliver all of his papers and get to school in just 1 hour.
I baked a cake.
I played a whole game of soccer.
Each day is made up of 24 hours. 7 days make 1 week, and 365 days make 1 year.
60 seconds in 1 minute. 60 minutes in 1 hour. 24 hours in 1 day. 365 days in 1 year. Why not use numbers that are easy to deal with, like 10 or 100? Where did these weird units of time come from anyway?
From the movement of the Earth itself. Long ago, people began to refer to the time it takes for the Earth to make 1 rotation on its axis as a day. And it takes a little more than 365 days for the Earth to travel around the Sun.
Awesome! The movements of the Earth itself help establish the way we measure time.
Mathematicians!
Today we salute the timekeepers who changed the way we think about time.
People have been trying to keep track of time for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians did it using sundials. They used the shadows cast by the sun to measure the passing hours.
Of course, that didn't work so well on cloudy days or at night.
Other people used water clocks. No sun necessary. Water slowly dripped from one bowl to another. Each line on the last bowl marked another hour.
I'll be home 3 drips past 5, Mom.
It was time for a major timekeeping breakthrough, the mechanical clock. Featuring gears, weights, and more accuracy than ever before, it made its first European appearance during the 1300s. With it, people began to use time not in terms of shadows or drips, but in seconds, minutes, and hours.
And I've been late ever since. All thanks to the timekeeping mathematicians. using a clock.
Clocks can be big or small, tall or short, have a face and hands, a digital readout, or even a cuckoo. But they all have one purpose: to measure the passage of time.
My clock has a face. That's what you call the front of the clock. It has numbers all around the outside, from 1 all the way up to 12.
The numbers show the hours. The small lines in between the numbers mark the minutes.
My clock has hands. They always move in this direction. It's known as clockwise.
That movement shows the passage of time. The big hand tells the minutes, so it's called the minute hand. The little hand tells the hours, so it's called the hour hand.
Minutes, big hand. Hours, little hand.
Look, Ma, no hands. I have a digital clock.
Using a clock lets you measure the passage of time.
Telling time.
Let's look at a clock, one hand at a time.
No problem. I can tell time with one hand tied behind my back. When the little hand is on the number 2, I know it's 2 o'clock. When it's on the 7, I know it's 7 o'clock.
What about now?
It's a little bit before 2 o'clock.
And now?
It's a little bit after 7 o'clock.
Let's use both hands now. Whenever the big hand is on the 12, you say o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And now?
6 o'clock.
On a digital clock, the numbers to the left of the 2 dots, known as the colon, tell us the hour. The numbers to the right of the colon tell us the minutes. When the minutes read 00, we say o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock can be written 2 ways. As a word, 8 o'clock, and as a number, 8:00.
I know it's after 3 o'clock because the hour hand is in between the 3 and the 4. But how much after 3 is it?
To find out, you have to go to the minute hand. Each small mark between the numbers stands for 1 minute, and it takes 1 minute for the hand to move forward to the next mark.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes after the hour. But the number on the clock reads 1, not 5.
Just remember that the 1 stands for one group of 5. And 2 stands for 2 groups of 5.
5 and 5 is 10, and 5 more is 15. Hey, it's keep counting by 5s.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour.
When the minute hand gets back to 12, you start all over again.
You can also count each of the minute lines to find the exact minute.
5, 10, 15, 20, plus 1, 2 is 322.
The hour hand is just past the 4. The minute hand is on 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 minutes past 4.
My mom told me to walk my little brother to his drum lesson at 12:30.
There are 60 minutes in an hour. Half of 60 is 30. So half past an hour is the same as 30 minutes after the hour.
At half past the hour, the big hand is on the 6.
A quarter of 60 minutes is 15 minutes. So a quarter to the hour means the same as 15 minutes to the hour. And a quarter after the hour is the same as 15 minutes after.
The big hand is on the 3 for quarter after, and on the 9 for quarter to.
It took 15 minutes to walk to Billy's teacher's house. We started at 12:30. So it was 1:45 when we arrived. The lesson lasted half an hour, just enough time to finish my chapter. But for some reason, I couldn't concentrate. Boy, was I glad when 1:15 finally rolled around.
Is it 1/2 past, 1:45, or on the dot of 12 o'clock? Only time will tell.
Who's the mathematical mastermind with the facts at his fingertips, solving crimes with calculated cool? That's me, Detective Digit. The case of the missing messenger. It wasn't exactly my favorite eatery, but Max had promised to meet me here with some important information. As the minutes ticked by, I got steam. He was late. He'd said to show up at 9 o'clock sharp, and already it was 1:15. I hung around, even though it meant missing my favorite show. I called on him the next day to give him a piece of my mind. But when I got to his place, he had the nerve to be mad at me.
Hey, I'd wait at the cafe from 9 until 10. I don't like it when people waste my time.
It was a mystery. Both Max and I were sure we'd been in the right place at the right time, but neither of us had seen the other. Of course, I knew I was right.
You're not right, I am.
I am. AM. All of a sudden, the answer was as plain as the face on my wristwatch. When setting up our meeting, Max neglected to mention whether he meant AM or PM. I assumed he meant PM. In other words, the hours that come after 12 o'clock noon and before 12 o'clock midnight. He had actually meant AM, the hours after midnight and before noon.
See you tomorrow at 9 a.m.
My work here was through.
Time passing.
How long till the cookies are done? Do you have enough time to practice? When will the game be over?
Yeah!
If you know when something starts and how long it lasts, you can figure out when it ends.
On Saturday, Max and I decided to go to the movies. Caroline said she wanted to come too, but first she had to practice her guitar for half an hour.
So, when can we go?
I told him if Caroline started practicing at 12 o'clock and played for 30 minutes, she'd be done at 12:30.
An afternoon movie will be great. How long does it last?
If you know when something begins and ends, you can find out how long it is.
I checked the show times and saw that the movie started at 2 o'clock. Then I called the theater and found out that it ended at 3:30.
How long is it from 2 to 3:30?
Starting at 2 o'clock, I added 1 hour and got to 3 o'clock. Another half hour got me to 3:30. The movie was 1.5 hours long.
When does something start? When does it end? How long does it last? Those are the keys to figuring out how much time is passing.
Using a calendar.
Seconds, minutes, and hours mark small amounts of time, which can be measured on a clock. Longer periods of time, like days, weeks, months, and years, are counted on a calendar.
This year, my school gets out for summer vacation on June 13th. I wondered how many school days we had left.
Each row on the calendar is 1 week. The 7 days of the week are
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
the days of the week are shown in columns on the calendar.
From the calendar, I could see that we had 3 more school days in May and 10 in June. There are 13 more days left of school altogether.
Most of the time, there are 365 days in 1 year. That's broken down into 52 weeks or 12 months. The months of the year are
January, February, March, April,
May, June, July, August.
September, October, November, and December.
different months have different numbers of days.
30 days have September, April, June, and November.
All the rest have 31, excepting February alone.
Which has but 28 and fine till leap year gives it 29.
Leap year? What in the world is leap year?
Leap year is when we play catch-up with the calendar. We base the 365 days in our calendar on the time it takes the Earth to travel around the Sun. But in fact, Earth's orbit is really a little longer than that.
It takes 365 and a quarter days to be exact.
Right. For 3 years, we ignore that quarter day. But every 4th year, we make an adjustment. We add another day to February to account for all those extra quarter days that have been piling up. If we didn't have leap year, the calendar would get way out of whack. After a while, we could be raking leaves on the 4th of July. It'd be chaos.
Today is September 15th. Max's birthday happened 6 days ago. When was it?
September 9th. My birthday is 2 months from now. When is that, Max?
Let's see. We're in September. 2 months from now would be November.
Hey, you want to go to the concert in 10 days?
September 25th. It's a date.
To make or find a date, use a calendar. It's the place to measure days, weeks, months, and years. It's time to play Count on Me, the game show that's got your number. This time we're playing It's About Time, a game of estimation and daring.
An estimate is a guess based on what you know and what makes sense.
Right. And today, you two are going to estimate how long it takes Max to run this obstacle course. Max, can you give us a brief course overview?
I start here. I spin this around. I make a sharp right turn here, through the jungle gym, and I end up here.
Sounds fun. Caroline, how long do you think it'll take Max?
Max is a pretty fast runner, but I think the sand thing will slow him down a bit. So that part will probably take 15 seconds. But the bridge and the slide thing looks tricky. That's all gotta take 20 seconds at least. So I'm guessing he'll take about 35 seconds to do the whole thing.
And Lauren, what's your estimate?
I figure about 8 seconds for each activity. I counted about 4 activities in all. So I think Max will do it in 32 seconds.
All right, let's run the course and see. And remember, it's not the fastest time, but the closest estimate that counts.
Ready, go!
And he's off. Looks like he's off to a strong start as he's, oh, wait a minute, he's turned around, but there he goes, out through and on to the next part. Caroline thought this sand might slow him down a bit, but he seemed to do that just fine, and now he's spinning around and making me dizzy. Whoa. Oh, he's off to the next, and did you see that? He went right through that swing, heading towards the bridge, which Caroline also thought might prove to be a little tricky, but that seemed to be no problem for Max as he approaches the slide, and perfect execution. He's headed towards the finish line, and he's through, and clocks in at 34 seconds. How did Max's actual time compare with your estimates?
Well, I was off by 2 seconds.
I was closer. I estimated 35 seconds, and it actually took Max 1 second less.
Count on Caroline for good estimation and Max for even better execution.
No, wait, I can do it even faster.
Time may fly. Sometimes it seems to stand still. And though we can't see, smell, taste, touch, or hear it, we sense time passing all around us. Time gives us before and after. It's the key to planning your day, from getting to school on time to fitting in soccer practice and homework before dinner. Time is the math measure we use to find out how long.